Family, school, and community engagement encompasses the many ways that families, educators, and community groups work together. Strong family, school, and community partnerships foster student learning, development, as well as well-being, school innovation and collaboration, education systems transformation. This video introduces the Global Family, School, and Community Engagement Rubrics Tool. The tool guides schools in identifying current family engagement practices, assessing and mapping how to build stronger partnerships, and planning next steps. The global rubrics have 4 essential elements central to family, school, and community engagement. The elements are creating an inclusive culture, building trusting relationships, leveraging families as assets, and dedicating necessary resources to sustain meaningful family, school, and community engagement practices. Each essential element has 3 key questions that school teams can use to assess their own practices and determine how they can be even more inclusive and equity-oriented to engage all families. For example, Essential Element 2 focuses on how a school invests in building trusting relationships so that families and educators are partners in supporting students and improving schools. The 3 key questions under this rubric are: 1. What do trusting relationships look like in the school community? 2. How is the school ensuring effective use of two-way communication with families to sustain positive relationships? 3. How does the school leverage relationships with families to achieve program, school, or district goals? Schools answer these questions by looking at how their family engagement practices build relational trust. The Global Rubrics tool has 5 key steps. Step 1. Identify your school team and how you will use the Global Rubrics to assess current practices in your school. A school team should include parents, caregivers, and teachers, and school staff to ensure different perspectives. Ideally, teams are co-led by a parent and educator. Schools can also consider including students in their teams and think about building the rubrics process into existing meetings and activities. Step 2. Discuss the objectives of the Global Rubrics and contextualize. The tool is available in 4 languages. Decide what language you will use and who will translate, and make sure that any examples reflect your context. Establish the key objectives and what teams want from the process. For example, a school experiencing low student attendance may use the tool to build better two-way communication and trust with families. Step 3. Individually assess and rate current practices in each of the rubrics by giving concrete examples and evidence. For example, the school communicates with families through newsletters and an annual one-on-one parent-teacher meeting. Based on these practices, the school would rate itself as early or developing in two-way communication. A school that has multiple opportunities to listen to and collect feedback from families, such as regular in-person interactions, regular phone calls and texts, and social media groups with parents, may rate itself as excelling in two-way communication. Step 4. Discuss and determine a collective rating. Consolidate the individual ratings and come up with a collective rating for each rubric. Step 5. Identify strategies to build stronger practices. Decide what elements to concentrate on and look for existing strategies in other schools and communities that you may try. Think outside the box and come up with new designs and strategies. For example, one strategy may be to create virtual platforms using social media, where teachers and families can share ideas and questions. Trust is critical to ensuring that kids learn and feel better, schools innovate and collaborate, and education systems change and evolve. When families and students feel heard and see themselves reflected in school culture and decisions, they tend to have greater trust with schools. We encourage schools to use the Global Rubrics to facilitate intentional conversations that lead to meaningful strategies and ultimately foster greater relational trust between families and schools.